All right, we're ready. Welcome to the Dyslexia PowerPoint presentation brought to you by me, Jordan Gibson, and Nigel Mitchell.
Yep.
What is dyslexia? A general term for disorders that involve difficulty in learning to read and interpret words, letters, and other symbols, but it is not a marker to note someone's actual intelligence. Possible whys to dyslexia. Brain scans indicate that individuals with dyslexia have differences in the corpus callosum of the brain. Corpus callosum is composed of nerve cells that transmit messages between the right and left side of the brain. The left brain views finer details of anything before seeing the whole picture. An example that is given here is grazing at the night sky and focuses on each individual star instead of the big picture of the entire sky full of stars. Related to reading side, it logically aligns things in a structured manner. It matches letters with sounds, separate words into constituent sounds, and deciphers grammar and syntax, which is vocabulary, words, and sentence structure. The right brain is known as the creative part of the brain and views the entire picture without focusing on the minor details. As you can see, I gave the same example of the night sky, but it's in reversed for the right side of the brain instead of the left side of the brain. And they grasp the entire reading as a whole instead of individual sections, parts, words, and vocabulary. Characteristics and strengths is phonological processing affects understanding, learning, and memory when associating words with letter sounds. Orthographic processing affects how individuals learn how to form and copy letters and memorization of sight words. As you can see to the right here are some common sight words which are used in everyday conversations. And letter reversal for individuals with dyslexia is a characteristic, as some have been known to write P's and Q's backwards and B's and D's backwards. And these are the lowercase letters because they look very similar. And difficulties in coding, spelling, and decoding, which is reading. Students with dyslexia may suffer difficulties reading text, but their creativity is not hindered. So as a teacher, I would say they should implement more verbal activities in class so that they have an opportunity for students with dyslexia to interact hands-on in the classroom instead of struggling in reading.
And so for classroom implications, some of the challenges regarding dyslexia is early diagnosis, which is really important in charting out a student's subjective lesson plan in order for them to get them on track towards where they need to be in that lesson plan. Students should also be given multiple avenues of success in order to achieve that, so not one way or the highway. Some characteristics of dyslexia, like Jordan was talking about, include difficulty reading real words in isolation, decoding nonsense words, spelling, and accurate oral reading. Secondary consequences of dyslexia include, but are not limited to, schoolwork with lower levels of reading comprehension and writing skills and increased distractibility. And a consequence of that is often led to frustration with school assignments and anxiety when students are required to read in front of their peers. So for teaching strategies and whenever teaching somebody with dyslexia, collaboration, that comes to mind as one of the forefront ones. With family or other students, kind of follow a path for students with dyslexia to better understand the material and have the help they need on assignments to understand that material. You're good. All right, and then implement multiple representations. So using other sources for teaching besides just reading allows for the material in the class to be better service for students in all sorts of areas. Discussion is one of the main ways to help a student with dyslexia better approach the material. Structure, monitor, and communicate. It is important that with students who have dyslexia and to structure the content accordingly. Scaffolding, which is kind of a subjective and personalized lesson plan, allows for students to build upon the knowledge they've learned before and build confidence in the student. And then identify, screen, and individualize. One of the most important things is for each student with dyslexia to be treated as their own person. That's why scaffolding is something that's subjective and dependent on the student. It's not a, like I said, one way or the highway. And that is it.
All right. Thank you for coming to our presentation. And I hope you did find this educational.